us. We're going to talk about mainly the perceptions of luxury travel, and some of those are negative perceptions. So it'd be interesting to hear what you think about how you can manage those in the luxury travel space. So let's start by asking you, what are some of those preconceived perceptions of luxury, particularly luxury travel and luxury in events? Alana, why don't you answer that first?
I think that, very often the tall poppy syndrome comes into play, where other organisations that may not be able to experience a luxury event perceive other companies that are able to have the luxury event as being show-offs, as excessively spending, as being wasteful. I think those are some of the negative preconceptions.
Did any of you want to add anything to that? Either?
I would say that it's very important to keep in mind and to focus on the DNA of luxury. Luxury is uniqueness, magic, brand soul, exquisite products, excellence, added value, and of course, all that irreproachable services, and all that as a cost. It represents a cost. So it might be preconceived, of course, but we have to focus on the essence of luxury.
So those perceptions we're talking about, as you say, some of them are negative, and there is a bit of media backlash you often see to, particularly, I guess, their luxury events, and especially if you're talking about publicly listed companies like banks running events that might be seen as lavish, wasting public money. How do you handle that sort of perception? I know Anne wanted to say something on that, so I'll go to you first.
Well, you know that, in Europe we have quite a big financial crisis, and we have to rethink events and keeping always in mind the luxury aspect. But it doesn't affect innovation and creativity. We just have to be more discreet, and we have also a big concern about employees. So we do guarantee that employees are going to have bonuses at the end of the year, not to make strikes. As you can imagine, syndicates are very big there. So, but luxury too is, if we don't make events, if we don't create events, if we don't sell products, if we don't promote products, we will be, a dying company. So we need to impress customers, we need to impress competition too, we have to move forward all the time. So yes, it's backlash, but it's specific concern. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Melissa, what do you think about that?
I deal with a lot of customers coming here to venues such as the town hall, and there's a lot of our clients do have concerns about how they may be perceived in the public environment. And I think that a good confidentiality clause doesn't help. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that kind of aspect of the business. But it's not necessarily about that traditional sense of luxury. It's also about having unique experiences, and to many people that's just as important. So when they come to somewhere like here, to have an experience with a really interesting producer or a performer or an artist, that's actually considered luxury. Yet it's not necessarily a high spend sort of food and beverage sort of thing like that. It's an experience. It's an experiential thing is more important in many ways than actually traditional sense of luxury.
Yes, because that's the perception, isn't it? That luxury travel is, as I mentioned before, lying on a beach. You can only do it if you're super wealthy, and there's nothing really to be learned from it or gained from it. But actually what you're telling us here today, and perhaps you want to talk about this, Lana, is that it's very much bespoke luxury travel, and also taking advantage of the local environment, learning about the culture, and so on.
Definitely. I think luxury is a very personal thing. What one person perceives as being a luxurious experience, for example, lying on the beach somewhere and somebody serving you cocktails, somebody else might find that,
There's nothing wrong with that, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, someone else might perceive that as being too in their space. They might just want to lie on the beach and experience what's around them.
Yeah.
So I think luxury is certainly a very personal thing. But just in terms of the corporate social responsibility and so forth, that can certainly be incorporated into a bespoke luxury experience.
How is that? How do you justify that, say, to a publicly listed company? How do they justify what they're doing?
Sure. I'll give you one example. At One and Only Walgan Valley, one of the experiences that customers can have is to go out and plant trees in areas that require it. And that's a fantastic experience. You know, these people are there to experience a luxury product, but they're also, you know, getting their hands in the soil, and they're really giving back to the community. And I think that's essential.
That is a very good example, isn't it?
Yes.
A very politically correct example, that one. During economic downturns, which of course we've seen dramatically, particularly in Europe, how then does the luxury brands and luxury travel fit into that? How do you still find a niche amongst that? Perhaps, Anne, you can answer that.
In terms of services?
During
Sorry?
economic hard
Yeah.
times,
Yes.
how does the luxury travel industry manage to keep abreast?
Well, we manage it because, well, it's always another perception. We do we do have really to rethink and to communicate. Really, it becomes politics. It's kind of really luxury events becoming politics now. So we have to really focus on the right way to communicate, the right choice of venues, the right choice of products, the right way to the right people to invite.
I thought I'd just wrap up because we don't have long, but just on that idea of what service expectations there are now of this industry, and are they evolving? I imagine they're constantly changing, or not?
Well, most definitely. I think there was a time where with menus and food and beverage, for instance, you'd have a seasonal set of menus and you'd pretty much use those. Yet I don't think 20% of our clients would use standard menus and things like that. There's a real desire for a bespoke or a really creative element into almost every event. You know, it's that bespoke issue for us, is that making everything really individual and really super special, whether it's working with local artisans or suppliers or producers or whatever it is, making something really relevant to the customer.
What about you, Alana? Do you have thoughts on that? Because I think you were saying it doesn't actually change much.
No, I don't think it does. I think that if you are in the business of luxury events, you always have to be 100%. You have to always be on. You know, whether the client is somebody that is not used to luxury and perhaps feels a little bit awkward initially, or whether it's somebody that, you know, has luxury events all the time. You really need, it's all about service. And that can be a challenge for regional or remote areas as well, in terms of, so, and then that comes back to training and, you know, really, I think customer service for some people, going back to what Anush was talking about as well, customer service for some people is just intrinsic. It is who they are, and you know, that's just the essence of who that person is. Other people really need to learn about customer service, but that always has to be 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and your thoughts on that before we wrap? Do you think customer expectations are evolving in this space?
Yes, well, services are not changing to me. Well, services need to be irreproachable. Devils is in details, as we all know. But it can be improving, it can be innovative, it can be creative, but always with an excellent service. I mean, in training, as Elena said, it's very important to educate people properly, because sometimes they just don't know, to have the appropriate behavior, attitude towards customer, not to be too friendly, and sometimes seems to be nice, but with a very high-end customer, you will not appreciate it, I'm telling you. And in terms of culture, you have to, even if we turn global, we need to pay attention on the nationalities, the culture background, and how to treat minorities, for example, how to treat, I don't know, other nationalities. It's very, very important. Services is a key word, yes.
All right, well, we're going to have to leave it. And I know this is your first time to Australia, and you've got some wonderful trips planned up. Pretty much those photographs
Yes,
we were looking at
really.
before, the snapshots of them, some of the most beautiful places in Australia. Anne's going to most of them. So enjoy your stay.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm planning here to stay here for 3 weeks, so I'm sorry for the person who stays 3 days. I would have never come for 3 days. So I'm planning a lot of, and I'm working during the night for France, for Europe, so here I am.
Yes, Anne is actually looking at bringing in fact, you gave me the technical terms, which I know you all know off the top of your tongues, but for me it was new. She's about to bring inbound high-end incentives
Yes.
to Australia
So
from Europe.
I'm
so this
observing
is a recce.
I'm observing Australia. I'm really exploring, observing what you're doing, and like an extraterrestrial, you know. No, I'm kidding.
Yes,
No,
it's
a
a
beautiful
recce. You're
country.
actually working. Don't try
Until
fools.
now. Yes, beautiful country, amazing. Thank you.
Enjoy. And thank you
Thank you.
to all three of you, to Melissa, Ilana and Anne. If you could please make them show your gratitude. Thank you.